Hi, my name is Abhishek Rai and I work for BMC Cloud Lifecycle Management product. Today I'm going to talk about changes required when replacing an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server, part 2. The plan is to discuss changes required when replacing an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server, and this part will mainly focus on CloudDB side configurations. Once you're done with the configuration, you will have an understanding of all the CloudDB artifacts required to be changed when you replace an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server. During the demo, we will discuss on classes and configuration which needs to be changed to make the necessary changes. In the part 1, we talked about BSS side configuration, and we mentioned that in case you re-enroll your vCenter server or you decommission the old vCenter and configure a new vCenter, then in that case the GUID or the URI of your vCenter will be changed, and it means that the changed URI needs to be available in the CloudDB for different classes. For example, BMC underscore cluster, BMC underscore resource pool, BMC underscore storage volume, BMC underscore computer system, BMC underscore protocol endpoint, and BMC underscore logical disk. When you search into these forms, we need to populate the specific cloud classes data, and then we need to replace the old vCenter URI with a new vCenter URI. And the cloud classes for BMC underscore cluster will be virtual cluster. For BMC underscore resource pool, it will be virtual resource pool. BMC underscore storage volume, it will be virtual data store. BMC underscore computer system, it will be virtual host and virtual guest. And for BMC underscore protocol endpoint, it will be network interface. And the last one, BMC underscore logical disk, it will be local disk. Let me show you how you can search based on these specific cloud classes and how you can replace the old URI with the new one. Let's switch to one of these class. Okay, I've already opened BMC underscore resource pool class, and once you have the configuration item open, you need to switch to custom 2 tab, cloud class. Make sure you search the CI with virtual resource pool cloud class. This will give you a specific configuration item, and once you have that data available, you need to switch to custom 3 tab, then expand the external ID section and replace this old URI with a new URI of your vCenter. In the previous part, we talked about how you can fetch the latest URI of your new vCenter. So in the same way, you need to open the classes which I just talked about and replace the old vCenter URI with a new vCenter URI. Apart from these configuration changes, you need to also modify the cluster and storage volume data as well. So for cluster, you need to switch to your cluster, BMC cluster class, and you'll have to make sure that you replace domain, the latest or new domain ID over here, short description, then this section over here, then in the custom 3 tab over here, and then in custom 8 tab it's about vim ID. But before you modify this configuration item with the new domain ID of your cluster, you need to copy the old domain ID of your cluster as well, so that you can search BMC underscore storage volume form with the old cluster's domain ID, and that will pull the records which were associated with the old cluster. And you can switch to custom 3 tab, then over here provide the old cluster ID and then click on search item. Then you have got 2 records. You may have multiple records based on your infra, and then you need to expand this section and replace this old ID with the new ID of your cluster. And in my previous videos, as I talked about, you can get the new cluster ID via 2 ways. One is to run a web service call and fetch the new domain ID, or you can switch to BSA console and then select your cluster, right click, click on properties, and you can get the new domain ID from here as well. I hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching this.